to Lavelle. Steps into another jumper. Yes, ma'am! Mira straight away triggers a three. Bullseye. Alexis Mark, give her two more. McGwire takes the three. Ring it up.
Welcome inside ExtraMile Arena. It is the season finale, the last home game here for the Boise State Broncos in the last game of their regular season. Welcome inside. Leonard Berry here alongside Heather Berry for the final time this season, sadly. And Heather, the Broncos on Friday, they had it in the bag, and then all of a sudden in the fourth it just slipped away.
They did. It was the game of the momentum swing, the last minute 30, and San Diego State came away with the win at the very end.
Mallory Adams hitting the game-winning three-pointer with 8.8 left on the clock after a Sofia Ramos offensive rebound. It's the first win for the Aztecs in Boise since 2013, and Ramos and Adams scored 15 of the final 19 for the Aztecs. So they went on a 7-0 run to take the game 74-72. Gordy Presnell, head coach of the Broncos, will be looking for a better result here today between two teams that are really evenly matched when you look at all the stats and the numbers. The biggest difference on Friday was the three-point shooting for the Aztecs. They hit a season-high 12 threes, but Heather, when you look at these numbers, the shooting percentage really stands out to you.
It does, and that's where the Aztecs came away with the game, was at the three-point line. They were a team that just kept staying in the game when the Broncos led the entire time, and that last three-pointer at the end is what got them the victory.
Broncos did well controlling the turnovers, staying in single digits with just the 7 turnovers, but again, just wasn't enough. The shooting wasn't there, and the Aztecs going on that big run at the end of the game was what mattered. But today, it's senior day. Broncos, one lone senior, and she played her heart out on Friday. We'll expect her to do the same here today.
Mallory has been fantastic for this Bronco team. She brought it on Friday, and I'm excited to see what she does today for her final game in ExtraMile Arena.
21 points, 5 three-pointers. Her career high is 26, and her career high in rebounds is 20. We'll see if she tries to smash through that ceiling here today. Broncos and Aztecs will be up next right here on the Mountain West Network to close out the regular season. We are back at ExtraMile Arena. It's the final regular season game of the year. Heather, everyone always gets up for senior day, even with just the one senior for the Boise State Broncos, but also the second time all year the Broncos have been allowed to have fans this season. They're certainly making an impact already here in the pregame. The band is here, the Spirit Squad, and Mallory McGwire. It's her senior day. The Broncos want to send her out with a victory.
They do, and if you're in the building right now, coming from a former player, I've got chills for her. There's this energy in the arena today. And what a better day to go for the Broncos as we talk about the starting lineups here.
Yep, McGwire will be in the starting lineup. A staple as Muse, Alexis Mark, Mary Kay Narrow have been the 3 freshmen primarily selected to start under Gordy Presnell. And, of course, Jade Lavelle, the primetime scorer, the big-time scorer, with her father and the rest of her family in attendance here today for the home finale. Looks to have another huge game and maybe even overshadow the senior day that is Mallory McGwire. Meanwhile, on the other side, you see the starters. Sofia Ramos and Mallory Adams had their way with the Broncos on Friday, finishing with 18 and 15 respectively, and 15 of the final 19 for the Aztecs, as the Broncos, just like Friday, win the tip and start with possession.
This game today is going to be the start of which team wants it more. Final game here in Boise for the Broncos, as we'll see how they can come out with the victory today.
It starts off with a turnover for Boise State as Alexis Mark fumbled the pass there out of bounds. Aztecs with a season-high 12 threes on Friday. That really was the difference, as Boise State just could not hang with San Diego State from the three-point line. This is Ramos, who spun back and traveled, according to our referee, Randy Campbell. And both teams will start the game with turnovers.
Nice defensive play right there by Alexis Mark, causing a little bit of frustration there for the Aztecs and caused that turnover.
And while Ramos and Narrow are the 2 point guards for these two teams, neither of them are defending the other in the man-on-man. At the moment, it looks like San Diego State's in a little bit of a zone, as Muse free throw line jumper is off to the right. Ramos swings it around. That's Mallory Adams. That's a three that's no good and pulled in by Alexis Mark.
Those are shots that the Aztecs hit last game, with them shooting 57% from the three-point line. That turnover causes the Aztecs to bring it the other way.
Ramos going to go right at Nero, and she's going to score. Even with Nero going straight up, she could not stop Ramos on her path to the basket.
The last couple times down the floor, you can see the Aztecs do not want Mallory to get the ball. They are triple and double teaming her.
Broncos with yet another turnover here in this game. They've only attempted one shot so far, and they've been down the floor 4 times as a cross-court pass to Ramos forces her to put her foot on the line.
Both teams coming out here a little jittery, as we've seen many turnovers on both sides of the floor. Both teams just need to take a little bit of a breath. And let's see if the Broncos can set something up here on this next play.
It's just a 2-0 game. As you mentioned, Heather, quite a lot of jitters so far. The Broncos will try to get into a system here with Jade Lavelle, but she's also going to be stopped. So SDSU forcing players other than McGwire and Lavelle to beat them, and it's another team turnover. It's a travel against Nero.
Nero had a little stutter step there as she went to put the ball on the floor, trying to get that open jumper.
So it'll be Mallory Adams to inbound, and it goes to Ramos. Just under 2 minutes gone here in the first. This is Mercedes Staples kicking out, and Muse is there. That was a three-pointer that the Broncos probably wouldn't have defended on Friday, and Kamara Gibson getting called here for the offensive foul on the illegal screen.
As we watch here, I don't know what I think about that. She was set, but the referee decided the ball should go the other way.
Broncos still scoreless in this game, as McGwire is trying to get some space in the paint. Crane defending against Lavelle, who shot rims in and out, and last touched by McGwire, who was flying in for the O board.
McGwire does lead the team in in rebounds as a whole. I like the effort of her going in there for that offensive glass.
Nearly leads the entire conference in the per game for rebounds, 8.7 per game. She had 9 on Friday, nearly her 17th double-double of her collegiate career. She had 21 points and 9 rebounds. As Ramos puts up a right-handed floater, it'll find back iron and go out. Lavelle spinning back, puts it up, in and out. And that's a good look for Lavelle. It's just not dropping so far for Boise State.
The Broncos having trouble getting the ball to go in the basket. Need to connect on the defensive end, because defense will lead to offense.
Staples off the dribble. It's her favorite shot, really. Loves to do a couple of crossovers and then pull right up. 3-point or mid-range, doesn't matter to her.
Coach Presnell over there on the sideline, trying to get this Boise State team going today, trying to get that first basket.
Looks like they're going to change the inbounds to the sideline rather than below the basket. So sideline out of bounds, inbound there instead of under the basket. And Narrow will pull up. Rims in and out. As McGwire is going to get whistled for a foul. That is a silly foul right there. She wanted one called against Flo Venerte, who was holding her down. McGwire just gave her a shove.
Yeah, that's a call right there. These two went at it last game. As you can tell, they're going at it again this game. Mallory needs to be careful to not pick up another ticky-tack foul like that, because we want her on the floor. We don't want her on the bench for her senior night today.
McGwire fouled out on Friday. with about 1:15 left in the game, and that was when the Aztecs started their 7-0 run. Here, Alexis Mark gets the steal in transition. The pass was too low for Lavelle to handle it cleanly. Muse, left-handed hook shot. That won't fall either, as the lid on the basket will not budge for the Broncos. McGwire there with the double team, stolen away. Credit Narrow, McGwire, and Muse, as Mallory goes in and gets the first shot to drop for Boise State.
First basket in by the Broncos, none other than by the senior Mallory McGwire.
Here's another steal. Ramos not excited with the no call. Alexis Mark, beautiful spin move. And the Broncos have a 4-2 lead.
That's what we've been waiting to see by this Bronco team. Took a couple minutes to get the ball in the basket, but the Broncos have the last two baskets of this first quarter.
Jade Lavelle just rips it away. No jump ball called as she took it out of the hands there of Taya Adams nearly instantaneously. As here goes Muse down low. That won't go. Mark, again, aggressive on the offensive boards, but didn't come away with this one. And we've got a foul on the floor. I believe this is going to be against Abby Muse. No, excuse me, Mallory McGwire, her second. Coach Presnell can't believe it. 4-2. We'll take a break on the Mountain West Network. This is the foul call against Mallory McGwire on the left side of your screen, as our trail official, or rather the lead official on this play, right on it, as that's her area. So Mallory McGwire on senior day, 2 fouls already in the first 5.5 minutes. She is on the bench. She's frustrated. Coach Presnell is frustrated. And this is just not how you expect your senior day to go, Heather.
This is where Mallory needs to recoup. You can see her over there at the top of your screen talking to Coach Sower. She's got to figure out, she's going to come back into play. She's just got to be very clean with everything she does. The Broncos can still have her, and she can still show up with senior night there.
Abby Muse with a big-time rejection there, as there's 8 on the shot clock here for the Aztecs. Isabella Hernandez trying to get it to Ramos, stolen away, and Ramos will pick up a foul.
Nice hustle right there by Alexis Mark. That's the second time she's gotten a steal, which led to the Broncos, as you see here. Just a little hand tap, and she's got it, and then resulted in the offensive foul on the other end.
Mark there had something in the nose, or something wrong with the nose. Probably got smacked by Ramos. As here's Elodie Lalott. She's in, taking the place of Mallory McGwire and scoring on Flo Venerte.
That's what we need from Elodie. Coming in, making a stance, making the first bucket as she's checked into this game.
Broncos lead at 6-2 now, as Ramos skip pass across the floor. Alex Crane with the 3, no good. And now Crane's going to get whistled for the foul.
Nice hustle by the Broncos. 3-point shots equal long rebounds, as you can see here. It could have been anybody's ball, however, it's resulted in the Broncos.
Here's Lavelle off the bounce pass from Narrow, and Jade Lavelle at the basket.
Nice backdoor cut right there. Jade and Mary Kay had that play drawn up for them.
This is Alex Crane. And now Villalobos going up around both Muse and Lalott, but the offensive rebound will be saved by Ramos to the best 3-point shooter on the Aztecs in Hernandez. And lucky for the Broncos, she couldn't get the open shot to fall. Possession arrow points in favor of SDSU, as we've got a jump ball here with 3:01 left in the first.
And both teams look to do quite a bit of substitutions as we have 3 minutes left to play in this first quarter.
3 new Aztecs on the floor. Osley now on the floor for Boise State. As you can see, The Aztecs not having their way on the offensive end so far this afternoon. A 5.5-minute scoring drought.
What we did learn about from the first game is that doesn't put San Diego State out of the game at all. They kept in, and as we saw at the end of the game on Friday, only a minute and a half left, and they came away with that victory.
Osley tried to bounce pass to Muse. And for the second time this weekend, Jade Lavelle is going to get pegged with an over and back turnover that isn't her fault.
A little bit of a miscommunication here by Osley to Muse.
This is Staples. Mallory Adams over Abby Muse, definitely got a hand to that. It should be Abby Muse's second block of the game after the massive rejection she had a few minutes ago. So long and athletic is Muse. She's going to be on a couple all-conference defensive first teams during her time with the Broncos, if this freshman season is any indication. 4 on the clock. Mark puts up the jumper from the right wing. Lavelle snags the offensive board, goes up and draws the foul against Taya Adams. So Jade Lavelle head to the line.
Nice hustle here by Jade. Crashing the boards, getting the O-board, putting it up, send her to the free throw line.
Lavelle getting that foul called against Taya Adams. These two certainly don't seem like they're any stranger to each other, as Jade Lavelle from Sammamish, Washington, went to Skyline High School. Meanwhile, Taya Adams from Kirkland, Washington, not that far away, up in that Seattle area, and went to Juanita High School. And the two actually exchanged an embrace before the game, as Taya Adams got flowers from the Broncos, as is customary for the visiting seniors on senior day. And Taya Adams is just the lone senior for the Aztecs this season. Very much like the Broncos in that regard. The moment Aztecs trail by 8, make it 6, as down low Mallory Adams gets an easy bucket on the right block.
Mallory Adams is a hard player to guard. She plays the post, but she's also a shooter, and she was able to post up there down against the Broncos.
Venerte and Staples there fouling Anna Osley. She's taking a free throw line jumper. So we'll take another look.
Osley did beat the defender. The defender got her on the backside.
So Osley clanks home the first free throw. The freshman from Scottsdale, Arizona, wasn't able to make her first appearance until midway through December for Boise State, recovering from a knee injury suffered her senior season in high school, but Coach Presnell has a lot of faith in her. Her recovery season, if you want to call it that, this year as a freshman. And she's going to be a key shooter for the Broncos moving forward. Of course, there's still a lot of this season to be played, as Lavelle tries to make some space. Alexis Mark, again, another jump shot, this time from the left wing, and that one will drop.
Aztecs are wanting Alexis to shoot it, and she sure did there. Couple dribbles inside the three-point line. Bucket good.
We've got about 45 seconds left in quarter number 1. Mallory McGwire, the Broncos' lone senior, has been on the bench since the 4:33 mark after picking up 2 early fouls. Hasn't mattered much to Boise State as they're up 13-4. 5 on the clock here for Staples. Again, we see her pull up off the dribble. Lavelle collides with Sykes on the rebound, but the Broncos do keep it, and they can hold for the final shot of the quarter. Sykes, corner 3 instead, and that one goes down. Kimora Sykes knocks down the first Bronco triple. And we've got a 30-second timeout called here by the Aztecs. Stacy Terry Hudson, in her 8th season at SDSU, wants to talk to her team.
The Aztecs don't want this to get out of the way as they're down by 12 here at the bottom of the first quarter.
16.7 left here in the first. A big Kimora Sykes triple right there as the Broncos are now on a 16-2 run over the past 5 minutes.
Definitely the Broncos came out with the lid on the basket. The Aztecs got the first points, and then it's been the swing of momentum, as we talked about earlier today, that this first quarter has been for both of these teams.
And early in the game, it was a turnover fest. We saw 20 turnovers on Friday combined between the two squads. We saw 13 already here in this first quarter, 8 for the Aztecs, 5 for the Broncos.
Both teams will need to do a better job as this game continues on to take care of the basketball, because every possession in a game like this is going to count.
Taya Adams gives off to Ramos, 3 on the clock. Trying to go around Osley, we got a call. The bucket counts, and to end the quarter, Sophia Ramos will shoot 1 free throw with an opportunity to make it a single-digit lead going into the second. So everyone will clear the floor. May as well be a technical shot here for Ramos, as the lane will be clear, as this quarter is over, and they're just going to review if she got the shot off in time.
And she did get it off in time. In my opinion, the referees will determine, as they're over at the scorers table double checking, as they can do that to make sure everything is clear.
The ball is nearly in the basket before the red lights of the backboard go off. Certainly after the review, you would imagine that this will count, and it will be a 16-6 game.
Aztecs, as we see here, over there, coaches drawing up play, talking about how to get things going. On the offensive side, as the Aztecs came out, outside of turnovers, they came out early and scored some points, and now she's trying to get them back in the grind to get this offense going.
The Aztecs came out cold as you could ever be. 0 of 4 from 3, and before that Ramos shot, they were 2 of 11 from the floor, as they are still taking a look at this one over on the monitors. And Heather, I know you know one of our referees, Julie, quite well, who balled out at Utah back when they were in the Mountain West.
She did. When I was playing ball back in we won't talk about when, but when I was in high school, Julie Cromanhook, which is our lead official today, was playing at the University of Utah, and boy, could she shoot the ball. She was somebody we would always go to games like this, as we have many people in the Valley that come to watch the Broncos play. Me being from Salt Lake, went to watch Utah play, and Julie was one of those players, so it's fun to see her stay in the game.
So they're actually going to put a full second back on the clock here. It won't be a buzzer beater for Ramos, and this free throw will be missed. Muse will pad the stats with a rebound there with 1 second left in the first, and it'll still be a 10-point Bronco lead as we head to the second. 16-6 Boise State on top as they look to make amends for Friday's loss here on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back to ExtraMile Arena. Before the game, Mallory McGwire was honored. Her family able to make the trip. Unfortunately, they weren't allowed at center court with her, but she did get to run over and have a chance for a photo op with them. She's the Broncos' lone senior, but unfortunately for Boise State, she's already in foul trouble, and she's on the bench now to start this second quarter. So we've got a traveling call there against Kamara Gibson.
The Broncos collapsed right there thanks to Jade Lavelle. She got the ball. She tapped the ball out of the Aztecs' hands, which caused the turnover.
So Boise State up by 10. Ramos had a chance at the free throw line at the end of that first quarter to make it a 9-point lead, but she missed the ensuing and one free throw as Lavelle's trapped here. Hughes gets it to Sykes. She's already knocked down 1 3-pointer today. Give her a second.
Nice shot right there by Sykes. 2 3-pointers in this first half, bringing a little bit of spark from the bench.
Kamora Sykes is a very good 3-point shooter. She doesn't take nearly as many as, say, Anna Osley or Mallory McGwire, but she's hitting it over 30% this season. As Mallory Adams going to get called for a carry, I do believe.
Looks like as she drove here. Definitely a carry there. The defensive play on the other end. Sykes scared her and then came back, which caused for that turnover.
Here's Osley, who pulls up for 3. That won't go, and Mallory Adams will grab the rebound, give it off to Taya Adams. No relation between the two Adams, as Mallory Adams, the sophomore, is from Frisco, Texas, while Taya Adams, the senior right here knocking down the jumper, is from Kirkland, Washington.
Taya Adams can do it anywhere, anytime on the floor for this Aztec team.
Osley swings it back down into Muse. We're getting double, losing the handle and having it stolen away by Sofia Ramos.
Both teams still having some problems with the turnover column as we see the start of the second half.
Taya Adams attempts another jumper, that time spinning from the baseline. That won't go in. The assist numbers big in favor of Boise State, assisting on 6 of their makes as Abby Muse is going to get fouled here. Meanwhile, the Aztecs have just 1 assist in the game, and Muse will go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Nice ball on the floor, push to the basket right there by Abby Muse. I like to see that from her, especially being very transmissionable, where she can be on the low post and do stuff from the high post.
First free throw doesn't go for Abby Muse, and as it has been so often this season, peaks and valleys, a tale of 2 games with the Boise State Broncos. So far here in this first half, they're shooting nearly 50% from the floor, just under 48%. And in the games where this happens, we've seen over the course of the season, it can go one of 2 ways. The Broncos either stay hot all game and blow an opponent out, no matter who it is, by nearly 20 or 30 points, or the shooting falls off in the second half and the other team comes roaring back and normally takes the game off the Broncos. That's really how it's been all season long, as Ramos is going to get another and one opportunity as she makes that free throw, makes that layup, and will get a free throw.
It's a nice drive right here by Ramos. Doesn't stop, keeps pushing through, hustles her way to the basket for that and one.
Broncos have flipped the script in this first half on the three-point percentage as well. San Diego State is shooting 0% from deep so far, while the Broncos are shooting 50%. So polar opposites from 2 days ago, where the Aztecs made 12 threes and shot 57%. Mark, beautiful backdoor cut. That'll be another assist from the Broncos. Credit it to Elodie Lalott, but it took all 4 of them for the great ball movement.
What a fundamental press break right there by the Broncos. The Aztecs came out trying to put some pressure on it, and the Broncos got the open, easy basket.
Ramos again. This time she dishes. It's Mercedes Staples. Creates space. Doesn't get the shot to go, and the second chance doesn't go either. Kiera Edwards with the opportunity down low off the miss. Mark spots up for a jumper again. And no dice there. Mallory Adams didn't go after it. She thought it was going to be Aztec basketball, but instead the referees point for Boise State.
Yeah, it looks like Elodie tipped it off the Aztec player, which is causing a sideline out of bounds play here for the Broncos.
Broncos wearing their alternate blacks, Aztecs in the whites. Broncos are 5-1 in the blacks this season. We talked about on Friday how good they've been in the white and black. They lost in white on Friday for just the 3rd time all season.
And the Broncos are just hard to beat at home. And whether they wear the whites or the blacks, ExtraMile is a place that the Broncos have gotten some great W's at during this season.
It's been a fortress for years. It cracked a little bit last season when Fresno State came in and erased nearly a 20-point deficit. Took the Broncos down, really was the game that resulted in Fresno State winning the conference. If you want to take back and look at one specific game where Boise State dropped the Mountain West regular season championship last year, that would be the game. Some more cracks were discovered earlier this season by both Nevada and Colorado State, but all in all, the fortress walls are still standing tall. And Boise State has always just been so good at home. You would imagine that that trend will continue as we are in this new decade of the 2020s.
It is, and the longer this team plays together, the better this team's going to play together. We talked about having such a young team, and where they started the season and where they're playing today are almost completely different, 2 different basketball teams.
A lot of that has to do with the speed of the game at the next level. when you come as a freshman in college, you're so used to high school. I mean, every single player on this roster for Boise State, as Edwards is going to get fouled here off the miss from Staples. Another second chance opportunity for her, and this time she draws the foul. But when you look up and down the Bronco roster, really any roster at the Division I level, Heather, you see players that were all-state, all-conference, all-league record scorers, record breakers in their respective states, divisions, conferences, you name it. And you come here, you're playing against the best in every state, in every conference. It's much different than when you were maybe blowing out a team 70-10 at your high school level.
It is, and the speed of the college game versus the high school game is completely different. That's why a lot of times you don't see very many freshmen succeed right off their freshman year, just because the game is so much faster than it was when they played high school.
The Mountain West is littered with great freshmen this year. We saw a couple from Colorado State come in here, had fantastic games against the Broncos. Of course, all 10 of the Broncos freshmen are having fantastic seasons, especially when you consider the fact that they are indeed freshmen, as Lalott proves to be a menace in the post, going up and over two defenders.
The Aztecs came out on that play in a zone. And how do you beat the zone? Get it to the free throw line. That's where Alexis Mark found Elodie for that easy basket.
Villalobos trying to bust through the Bronco offense, or rather defense there. She found an open Isabella Hernandez, and again, Hernandez couldn't knock down the open three. That's her second miss.
And Mallory McGwire checks back in. The lone senior. Mallory's got to be careful. She's got 2 fouls. We don't want her to get the third one before the second half is over, or the first half is over, excuse me.
Fouled out on Friday's game, as we mentioned previously. And in a lot of close games this season, she's been playing on the edge with 4 fouls. As Ramos, that three looks good. It is indeed good. We had a perfect angle on that one, and Ramos with a pure stroke right there.
Yeah, she's got a pretty shot. Definitely a score.
Christina Gill banks one in, and the Broncos get it right back.
3, doesn't matter if it hits the glass or it goes straight in. Still, it's 3 points.
Keeps the Bronco lead at double digits. It's 27-15 with 4:40 to play in the second quarter. Ramos wants to get around Gill. Edwards will just turn and shoot over McGwire. Not sure if that's the shot the Aztecs wanted in that possession. And McGwire trailing, 3 ball. That's good. Can't lose her in transition.
Mallory McGwire, she leads the makes for the teams and percentages for the team, and another great 3-point shot by her.
The best 3-point shooter on the Broncos this season. Their 6'5" center and their redshirt senior. Taya Adams missing a jumper as Mark and McGwire fought each other for it. And now you see Edwards pick up McGwire at the 3-point line. It has to happen.
Yeah, the Aztecs don't want Mallory to get the ball.
Alexis Mark going to be whistled for traveling there, and that is a pretty solid call, as she didn't put the ball on the floor and she was flying towards the hoop. Broncos on top by 15 thanks to this Mallory McGwire 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Extra Mile Arena. Alexis Mark, the fantastic freshman, just 14 minutes on the floor so far. 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals.
Alexis is doing it on both ends of the floor today, as you saw the 2 turnover, or the 2 steals, and then the baskets here. She's brought it for the Broncos today.
Broncos are on top by 15, and they've done a lot of that without Mallory McGwire being on the floor. And a big part of it is thanks to the Aztec turnovers. That is now their 11th turnover in the game. Ramos and Adams with 3 apiece. That's Taya Adams, not Mallory Adams. And Jade Lavelle just makes it look so easy at the other end.
Another nice assist right there by Mary Kay. That backdoor cut is the second time we've seen that here in the first quarter, or in the first half.
Finnertail step out on McGwire. That won't go, and Mallory will pull it down. McGwire playing with those 2 fouls, trying to be careful as Lavelle creates space, and that one's nothing but net.
That's the Jade Lavelle we know. She is known to get those shots up and in, even with a defender in her face.
Leads the Broncos with 16.8 per game. Coming into this one is Ramos with the reverse. Sophia Ramos can do it all.
She is not afraid to go up and underneath the basket, even with Mallory 6'5" underneath there, as she knows Mallory needs to be careful and not try to block any of the shots.
Here's Alexis Mark, a nice little half spin to create some space, but in the end it doesn't go down for her. Broncos lead it by 17. Hernandez trying to cut into the deficit. The best three-point shooter in Aztec history, struggling early today. 0 for 3 as McGwire using the body there.
That's all Mallory has to do. Just be present. You're going to make people have to adjust their shots.
Benerte closes out. McGwire, runner in the lane. The soft touch from the senior.
Nice move right there by Mallory. Come at her at a 3, knowing she can take a couple dribbles. An easy bucket for her.
Ramos coming in again. She's just trying to work on McGwire and force her into that third foul. That's what she did at the end of the game on Friday to a bunch of success. And here's a beautiful post-to-post pass. Kim Villalobos finding Flo Venerte.
Nice pass right there by the Aztecs. The Broncos looked like they didn't have any help side, which caused the open, easy basket for the Aztecs.
Okay, Lavelle off her foot. Christina Gill is there to recover it. This narrow baseline pass blocked by the left shoe of Isabel Hernandez.
The Broncos look to set up here, see what play they're going to call. Will they call Mallory's number? Will they call Jade's number? They always set up in the same formation.
Looks like it will not be Mallory McGwire's number as she is heading back to the bench. Elodie Lalott checks in for her. Instead, it's Lavelle. There's that play. And Lavelle can't get it to go.
It's a smart substitution right there by Coach Presnell. 1:14 left. He doesn't want Mallory to pick up her third foul. He can play with her he can play without her for the last minute, knowing he'll have her for the whole entire second half.
She'll have 3 fouls to work with in that second half. She did well, about 4 minutes on the floor right there. Aztecs kept attacking her, and she did not pick up the third foul. Ramos will attack anyone, but Osley is prepared and draws the charge with the set feet.
Nice defense right there by Osley as she sees driving baseline. Got it in outside of the circle, which allowed for that offensive foul to be called.
Under a minute to go in half number 1. As dribble handoff to Osley, back rim on the 3, and I think Lalott's getting whistled for an over-the-back call. Indeed she is. Elodie Lalott being whistled for the push, as there technically is no over-the-back foul.
Pushed her down before the shot went up.
Aztecs offense running through Sofia Ramos at the moment. There's Isabella Hernandez who gives it straight back to Ramos. Osley doing well on the defensive end for Boise State. Gets clattered by a screen. Lalott with the defense, but she's whistled for a foul, and that'll be her second.
Coach Ramirez over there giving Elodie some advice on what to do and what not to do. Elodie needs to be careful because we still need her for the second half as well.
Lalott was swinging a ferocious arm there, trying to put that ball through the floor. Bronco volleyball was in action the past couple of days. Elodie might have been watching the matches because that looked like a volleyball spike on the block there.
This Bronco team is known to have many blocks throughout many games, as they have a very high block percentage. So Elodie very close, although on that call she got the the foul called on her.
11.9 seconds left in the first half. Broncos had 4 blocks in Friday's loss, which actually brings their season average down. Incredible to say. They were at 6.8 coming into that game, as it's come down to about 6.6 now. Lavelle, 3 on the clock. She is harassed, no call, and there goes the buzzer. Coach Bresnell can't believe it, but that's how the first half ends. Broncos on top by 15. 36-21 is our score. Halftime here at ExtraMile Arena. It is senior day. It is the final home game of the season, final game of the regular season for Boise State before they move into the tournament coming up next week. And they're honoring Mallory McGwire. All the fans, all of her former teammates, her current teammates had a lot to say about her. And this is Mallory McGwire's tribute video for senior day.
She's an incredible basketball player, 6'5". She pretty much dominates every game that she plays in.
McGwire wide open, takes the three, swish! Broncos lead by 1 with 8 seconds left.
She's our best three-point shooter right now. She's our best passer on the team by far, and to be able to have the opportunity to coach somebody like her is just so exciting because it's just her potential is just limitless.
It took me back a little bit because I'm not used to playing players of that caliber, of her size, but I was very impressed by her.
That is her 5th triple for a 6'5" center. McGwire tries to reverse layup and banks it in.
The unsung things that people don't realize is that year that she was here and had to redshirt, we had an exceptional season, and a lot of that is those kids had to go against her in practice every single day. That's about 120 times, and so I thought she was a big factor in that season as well.
McGwire backs in. McGwire is a force in the post, and she just makes it look easy. Oh, she is so good.
After coming here and being around the team and the coaches, I just knew this was a perfect fit. And I mean, the history this team has is amazing, and it's part of a winning program. And that's something I was really looking for.
It's been hard. I mean, without a question, I think, your senior year, and it's a pandemic, and it's wild and crazy, and just tried to do her part and do what she can for us to help us get better and to help us grow.
Hey Mal, I cannot believe it. It is your senior day already. I know it's been such a crazy senior year and not what you envisioned with the pandemic, but that didn't stop you from reaching amazing milestones and accomplishments like your 1,000 points in your career, and that's just such a testament to your amazing career that you've had, and I'm so proud of you, and it's so well deserved.
Mallow, happy senior night. So proud of you and all your accomplishments. You're an amazing basketball player and person. So happy we were teammates. You were so full of energy. Can't wait to see how you end the season, and I know whatever you do next, you'll accomplish great things.
She's a goofy one, I mean, everything is about dogs. She loves dogs, loves her family, kind of just really like a homebody. But for the most part, she's just fun and free, and she's just just Mallory.
I think she's going to do good at whatever she chooses to do. She's got that personality, and there's a magnetism there that you immediately want to kind of get to know her better, and so I think that'll be great in sales.
Welcome back to ExtraMile Arena. Leonard Berry, Heather Berry here as we bring you the final game of the regular season and the final home game of 2021 for Boise State. They're on top 36-21, but it hasn't been easy for them today, Heather, and on the other side, Sophia Ramos is doing really all she can to keep the Aztecs in this game.
She is. She's driving to the basket. She's pushing hard. As we saw here, that's when she got that and one play. She just continues to be a strong spot for this Aztec team.
14 points today, had 15 on Friday. It was Mallory Adams who led the way for the Aztecs with 18 on Friday, and Sophia Ramos looks like she's going to blast past that number if she plays like she did in the first. Here are the team stats from the first half, and as we mentioned, the peaks and valleys. Well, the shooting is there today for the Broncos in the first half. Now, Heather, how do they contain it going into the second?
It is. They started cold. There was a lid on that basket the first quarter. However, 50% from both the free throw or the field goal and the three-point line. The Broncos are feeling it today a little bit different than they started the game out.
14 of 28 from the floor, 4 of 8 from deep. Meanwhile, the Aztecs, a massive departure from what we saw just a game ago. They are 1 of 8 for 13% from deep. As we mentioned, they knocked down 12 three-pointers in the victory Friday. They were 12 of 21 in that game. Big departure here today.
Yeah, the other big factor here during this game is the turnovers, as we see here, 12-7. Most times during games, you want at least less, under double digits. But as we saw, what's causing issues for the San Diego State team is that turnover marker.
Yeah, last Last time out, we finished with SDSU with 13 and the Broncos with 7. Both of those teams are going to surpass those numbers today unless it is the cleanest second half of basketball we've ever seen.
And the Aztecs just need to come out and continue to shoot. They are a team made of shooters, drivers, shooters, and shooters. They can do this. As we know, shooters shoot out of a cold slump, and this Aztec team could be a problem if they start to hit in the second half.
They're going to need to erase a 15-point deficit when we come back. Halftime here at ExtraMile Arena. Broncos lead on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back to ExtraMile Arena as we have just a few more minutes before the second half begins. The Broncos are back out shooting around. They are up 15. They're trying to carry the hot hand into the third and fourth quarters as we take a look at the highlights from half number one. And it's going to be a lot of Broncos scoring here, Heather.
Yeah, the Broncos have done a great job pushing the ball up the floor, finding that open player, hustle plays. Very athletic play right there by Alexis Mark.
The big story of the first half is a massive rejection by Abby Muse. That really set the tone for Boise State defensively. They turned it on and kicked it up a notch after that. But the big story is Mallory McGwire going to the bench early with 2 fouls. She managed to escape without picking one up in the second quarter, but now just 3 fouls to work with here in the second half in 20 minutes.
She did. When she went to the bench, the Broncos were able to keep the lead and continue to keep points on the board, allowing her to rest and not be able to have to come into the game to pick up that third foul. And the Broncos, as you can see here, Kimora Sykes came off the bench and hit 2 3-pointers at the beginning of the second quarter, which caused a spark for the Broncos.
It was really huge for Boise State to get that bench scoring from Sykes. In fact, her 6 points are tied for third most on the team. It's Jade Lavelle leading the way with 8, followed by McGwire, who's a perfect 3 for 3 from the floor. She's got 7, and then Alexis Mark and Kimora Sykes with 6 apiece. On the other side, it's been the Sophia Ramos show. 21 points for the Aztecs, 14 from her. No one else on the team has more than 2, as she has just really done it all to will the Aztecs into this one.
The Aztecs have gotten some great looks and great shots, as we saw earlier when we talked about stats. They're just not able to hit them. However, this is a team that are known to be shooters and that can score the ball. So the Aztecs will continue as we start the second half to try to get that lead knocked away.
And Heather, we've talked so much about this being the final regular season game for the Broncos. You see the standings here. Well, what does it mean for Boise State? And thanks to our great SID here, Craig Lawson, he has done all sorts of digging for us. This is how it can play out. CSU, UNLV, and New Mexico can all win the league. Fresno State has been eliminated with a loss yesterday and going on a 2-game losing streak. The Broncos can finish as high as 4th place with a win today. Nevada loses, and New Mexico, who's currently sit at 7-3, lose their 4 remaining games, which is unlikely to happen. They're actually in action against Utah State right now, and then we'll play Utah State again. So the Broncos are likely going to be in the 6-3 or the 5-4 game heading into the tournament. Any of the top 4 can be the opponent in that game, and if they're in the 5-4 game, it'll be New Mexico, Fresno State, or Nevada. That could be the opponent. The only team the Broncos haven't played this season would be that New Mexico team, who looks very, very good.
A lot of different things happening as we enter the Mountain West Conference here, but what I do know is what the Broncos can control is them winning this game today.
The Broncos are locked into the 6th seed at the moment, as that is the lowest finish they could possibly have this season, as Taya Adams can't get that one to drop. And a 6th seed in the tournament means a first-round bye. Lavelle had that one poked away and dribbled it off her right hand. That'll be a turnover against Boise State. So the Broncos are guaranteed to have a first-round bye, which is huge in the tournament. The problem for Boise State is finishing 6th or 5th in the conference draws a matchup against very strong opponents this season in either the Rams, New Mexico, or Nevada.
What it also means is the conference tournament, it is anybody's tournament.
Beautiful basket there from Taya Adams, as she'll go to the line for an and one and try to become another player that can help out Sophia Ramos for SDSU. Of course, every team goes to the tournament. The Aztecs will be in the tournament. They are going to have to play on the first day. There's no chance that they can get a first-round bye, but the way they've looked so far here in Boise, you like their chances to win a first-round game.
Definitely, they have came to play and have played very hard during this series. Even though they're down there playing very hard, the baskets just aren't going in for them at the moment.
The hoop is about the size of a pea for everyone not named Sofia Ramos, and Villalobos has her shot blocked by McGwire, and that'll be the third Bronco block of this game. Ramos lining it up and knocking it down, even with a defender in her face. She is on fire this afternoon.
Ramos wants this game badly. She is doing it all for the Aztecs team today.
The Aztecs did split with Fresno State a week ago. That was their last opponent. They went 1-1 against the Bulldogs in San Diego as Lavelle with the lefty floater in the lane. A nice little teardrop there.
The Aztecs look to get something set up here in this half-court play. Broncos in a man-to-man defense.
Abby Muse says, "Gimme those." Takes it away from Mallory Adams. That might go down as a block. McGwire on the other end, hanging and hitting as she flies through the sky, and it's 40-26 Broncos.
I'm not sure if Mallory was about to pass that and then realized how close she was to the basket to shoot it. Either way, 2 points for the Broncos.
An alley-oop. In some regards, I don't believe McGwire hit the floor, caught it in the air and put it up. As Muse tips that one, and she wanted the call to go for Boise State, but it was last touched by Muse, they're going to say.
Oh, that's a hard call. Hard call.
It's nearly impossible to see in real time as Staples spinning on Narrow and scoring in the paint. Mercedes Staples hasn't made much of an impact in these two games, but she certainly can score. She led the team coming into this in field goal percentage, and there is another three for the senior.
Mallory came in the second half, was sick of sitting out the first half, and she's brought it to start this second half for the Broncos.
Two Broncos in double digits now, McGwire and Lavelle. Staples for three, trying to warm up, can't do it. How about Taya Adams? She wants three. That won't go. Man, at this point, if I'm the Aztecs, I'm running every single play through Sofia Ramos.
Absolutely. You want the ball in her hands as the Aztecs push it here.
Adams finds Ramos. That's a three. Set her feet. That's going down.
Pure shooter in Ramos. Set. Nobody on her. 3-point basket.
Unreal from Ramos today. 7 of 8, 20 points, 3 of 3 from deep as Lavelle fouled, gets the and one on the shot.
Nice bucket right here by Jade Lavelle. Defender in her face, even touches her, nothing but net.
And the two Northern Washington women going at it as Taya Adams picks up the foul there on Jade Lavelle. Lavelle misses the free throw. Uncharacteristic from her as here comes Taya Adams at Lavelle. And we're going to get a whistle.
Late whistle there by the lead official.
Fun to watch these two going at each other down the court. Certainly a foul. There, Lavelle had an elbow in the rib cage, it looked like. Taya Adams misses the free throw.
Adams was probably upset on the other end of the floor when she got fouled, taking it right at Jade, which caused her to pick up the other foul.
1 for 2 on the trip to the line for Taya Adams. And the Broncos are up by 13, 45-32, 6:25 to play in the third quarter. Alexis Mark driving in, using the glass and scoring expertly as she cut her way through the defense.
Alexis Mark is such an athletic player. Going against 3 defenders there, easy basket up and in.
There's a rejection for Mallory McGwire. That'll be the 4th of the game for Boise State as the block party knows no bounds. Just rolls on every single week against a new opponent. Broncos are 5 for 5 on their last 5 shots from the floor. Here's Ramos working on Mark, spinning back to the right, going through, drawing the foul, and getting another trip to the line for the 89% free throw shooter in Ramos.
Ramos is doing it today. Can't find an open player, so she decides to take it to the basket herself and picks up the foul.
The way she's playing today, even if there is an open player, she might as well just take it herself. Absolutely carrying the Aztecs on her back to try to climb out of this deficit. She misses the free throw. Coach Presnell looks on. Over 700 career victories, over 300 as a Boise State Bronco, 16 years here in the Valley as Ramos goes 1 for 2 from the line. Muse back to Mark. Two-man game at the moment before McGwire steps in and gets involved. A long-range floater. Oh, Mallory McGwire. What touch.
Mallory's feeling it this second half. She has come out hot as she leads the Broncos here right now.
She's got 14 points. She has not missed yet. She's 6 for 6 from the floor, and her and Ramos are just having outstanding offensive explosions.
Broncos look to get in a rhythm here, trying to get a nice pass right there by Jade, finding the opus, Abby Muse.
Beautiful overhead pass from Jade Lavelle, finding the cutting Muse at the back door. 51-33. Broncos in danger of pushing this lead to 20 as Lavelle's going to get whistled for another foul. 51-33 is our score. 4:40 left to play here in the third, and Mallory McGwire 14 points on senior day. We are back. Third quarter action here at ExtraMile Arena. Mallory McGwire, it's her senior day, and naturally, as she does, she is showing out.
She has come to throw in a couple blocks this second half and hitting it from the outside. Mallory has brought it. 6 for 6 from the field goal. That is incredible.
2 for 2 from 3 as well. 4 rebounds and an assist for McGwire, who came out of the game at the 4:33 mark in the first quarter with 2 fouls. She's only played 15 minutes so far this game, but making a massive impact everywhere she goes, up and down the floor. Taya Adams at the line shooting 2 as she was fouled by Lavelle before that last break. And she makes the first, and she's got another one coming up. Adams makes them both, and she will check out of the game. Alex Crane will come in, the junior from McKinney, Texas. Mark just going to blow by that press. As Lavelle gets bumped, we've got a foul on the floor. That'll be against Crane. Take another look. As Lavelle just bumped there by Crane. They whistled the call before she really got shoved already. And Alexis Mark up off the glass for 2. She's got 10.
The Broncos are doing it this beginning of the second half. They have brought the energy.
Crane guarded by Lavelle. Ends up in the hands of Ramos, as it has so often this afternoon and really all season long for the Aztecs. 4 on the shot clock. Crane from the free throw line. That won't go. Gibson fought for it. McGwire's got it. And Gibson's going to get whistled for a foul as McGwire was tiptoeing the baseline.
A little bit too much contact down there by the Aztecs. Pushed Mallory over. The referee called the offensive foul. (53-35). Broncos lead this one as they continue to shoot well, and they get another basket from Jade Lavelle. She's got 14, tied with McGwire. 6 of 10 for Lavelle. Nice offensive play down there by the Broncos. Jade drives to the basket. Both defenders take the roller, which leaves Jade open for that easy bucket.
Jade Lavelle just picked up her third foul as well there on the loose ball call. We take another look. Ramos went up, and Lavelle gets whistled right there.
The referees are calling it a very tight game today. Not a lot not being called, so both the Aztecs and the Broncos need to be careful, as this is a game. Although Broncos up by 20, it's still anyone's game, as we've saw on Friday.
Kamara Gibson's at the free throw line, the freshman center from Beeville, Texas. She's got 3 fouls in the game as well. She misses the second. Broncos have 13 team fouls. Aztecs have 10, so certainly being called tight as Alexis Mark goes in. That's a 4th foul on Gibson.
What a pass right there. Alexis saw the open baseline, and the defender was off kilter, which allowed her to pick up that foul, which will send her to the free throw line.
We talked earlier about how there are really 2 Bronco teams when they come out shooting hot in the first. It's the team that either falls and fades away in the second where the shooting drops off, or it's the team that takes a rocket to Mars and goes supernova on you. And this afternoon, it is the supernova team that we see. They're 9 of their last 9. They're shooting nearly 60% in this game. They're at 59.5%.
That is crazy, and what an awesome way to come out and start the second half. Even while they're up, the Broncos know that momentum is what's going to carry them into the tournament, which leads them to next week.
And really, if you're SDSU, there's just nothing you can do when Boise State is playing like this, as many other teams in the conference have already discovered this season.
It is hard to shut down a team that's hitting it from everywhere on the floor. And if you're not hitting everywhere on the floor like the other team is, you're going to have the game that we are having this afternoon.
And realistically, the problem for the Broncos all season is getting lightning to strike twice in this 2-game series. When you play a back-to-back against an opponent, it seems that they haven't put together a game where they shoot 50% in one game and then come out and raise the stakes in the next. As we saw on Friday, they shot to 29%. Now here today, shooting 59%, a 30% point increase.
And that's the same thing we see on the other end with the Aztecs. They came out shooting hot Friday and unfortunately are not shooting that great this afternoon.
Alexis Mark not afraid to get on the floor after Nero knocked it away, and it'll be another turnover against SDSU, another steal for the Broncos, as that's their 7th of the game. Osley from deep. And we got a foul on the floor. I believe this is against San Diego State. Indeed it is. Mallory Adams gets whistled for the foul right here.
Yeah, she had her arm locked around Abby Muse, which didn't allow her. Although it was a great box out, you can't lock somebody in, which caused that foul.
So Abby Muse just went to the bench. Broncos have 2 shots here.
Looks like they'll sub her back in.
Yep, they're going to make Muse come back in here. Elodie Lalott had checked in for her, but since Muse is the one who got fouled and the Broncos are in the bonus, she has to shoot. She makes the first. 5 fouls is the double bonus. So she gets 2 shots regardless of what happens on the first. And makes them both, and now she will get the opportunity for rest with 2 minutes left in the third. Lalott will come in, and the Broncos are on top by a bundle. 24 points is the lead for Boise State.
The Broncos need to continue to keep putting the pressure on. As you can see here, the Broncos have come out in almost a matchup zone to see if they can cause a little bit more havoc for the San Diego State team.
Crane guarded by McGwire, can't hit it. Sykes pulls down the board. Broncos come the other way with Nero and Osley. Lott's been a menace in the paint. Can't get that one, however. Tough defense there by Mallory Adams.
I love that Elodie is not afraid to put the ball on the floor and bang to get an easy basket.
Adams thought about a three. So Aztecs are going to have to go on a pretty serious run here to have any chance to compete in the fourth. Adams, step back three. That'll get it started. There's a nice play there from Mallory Adams.
That is a nice step back three-pointer by Adams, who is a post, but who also can shoot.
The Broncos can shoot it as well. Kimora Sykes, her third triple of the game, and she is 3 for 4 from deep.
Nice spark again in the second half by Kimora, hitting that three-point as she did in the first half.
Down low, that's Taya Adams, the senior for the Aztecs, who gets to the bucket.
Nice drive and up and under move. She looked for the offensive player that was open. However, she became the person open for that easy basket.
Broncos can hold for the final shot of the quarter here. Narrow. Dishes to Sykes. She'll jack up another one. Thought she had it. It's McGwire. This is a 2 at the buzzer. Doesn't go. But the Broncos will be content. 22 points they are up as we head to the fourth quarter. 62-40 on the strength of 14 from McGwire and Lavelle. Welcome back to ExtraMile Arena. It is the fourth quarter here. One of 2 games being played in the Mountain West. The other one has already gone final. Utah State was hosting in New Mexico, and the Lobos ran rampant and smashed the Aggies. 93-55 was the final score in Logan. And for Boise State, that means that they cannot finish fourth in the conference now. They would have needed New Mexico to lose out. That will not happen. Lobos and Aggies will play again tomorrow from the Glen D Spectrum in Logan, Utah. And then we'll have probably the best matchup of the whole season coming up when New Mexico hosts Colorado State. The 2 teams at the top of the conference, just 5 losses combined between the 2. That'll be coming your way next week right before the tournament kicks off. So the Broncos will either be in the 6 game or the 5 game, the 6-3 or the 5-4 game, as it looks like they are going to handle San Diego State here today. But we got a lot of basketball left to be played. Heather, can't make those assumptions too early.
We do. The Broncos got to take this fourth quarter, and they've got to continue to play. They got to pressure. What they do today gets them better for the tournament. And as we know, the tournament is anyone's game. No matter where we land in the 6 game or the 5 game, the Broncos can only do so much that they have control on.
Broncos have won the past 4 Mountain West tournaments. The dynasty that Coach Presnell has created is certainly alive and well. And with this team getting a first-round bye, who's to say that they can't make a run? A lot of teams like to say, why not us, right? Why not the Boise State Broncos? When they play like this, who can stop them?
Absolutely. 10 freshmen, it doesn't matter. The Broncos can come to play, and that's what you do as Coach Presnell as he continues to build this legacy here, is to say it's anyone's game. It's a new season. It's conference tournament no matter where we place. We just got to come to play. It can be your last game or you'll move on to the next round. And the Broncos will definitely look to do that next week.
A lot again trying to battle there. Got 2 opportunities before the miss. The second miss was pulled down by Isabella Hernandez. As here comes Ramos. She wants to score. She will score. No one can stop her today except for maybe herself, as she's got 23 points. Meanwhile, other end, Lavelle, and 1.
Nice drive by Jade Lavelle, up and under with the left hand. She's got that bucket, and she's going to the basket for another.
So Jade Lavelle with that bucket will take over the team lead for Boise State. And this is a performance that we saw at the beginning of the season. The Broncos opened the season with 4 straight games of 4 players or more scoring in double digits. It culminated in a victory against Eastern Washington where they had 5 players score in double digits. And at the moment, Lavelle's got 17, McGuire's got 14, Mark's got 12, and Sykes is knocking on the doorstep with 9.
You love to see the wealth spread around with everybody contributing. So if somebody has an off game, we're not losing because somebody wasn't shooting well. If it's spread around, then the Bronco team can continue to play as they are today.
At the moment, no one for Boise State is having an off game. The 52% field goal percentage is astronomical. A lot again, just banging down low, puts it up over a defender. This time it's Mallory Adams who can't contain her.
Elodie is going to have big shoes to fill next year with Mallory now graduating. I cannot wait to see what she does, as she is a true post player who takes it to the basket every time she gets it.
And how about McGwire there? Another block as the lot's going to get whistled for the foul. I believe that is her fourth. That is her third, excuse me. It was Lavelle, number 30, who had the 3 fouls for Boise State. Lalott just picked up her third. But props to Mallory McGwire. She picked up a couple of blocks here after getting 2 fouls early in the first. Her defensive presence has not gone unnoticed, even with the 2 fouls.
Being 6'5", you are always going to be a presence. When you put your hands up, you're even a bigger presence. So her just being in the game makes people have to change their shot and makes it harder for the other team to try to score.
So Flo Venerte is at the line shooting 2 after the foul by Elodie Lalott. And she makes the first. A quiet game for Venerte. That's just her 3rd point. She's 1 of 3 shooting, and this is her first trip to the free throw line. The Broncos so far have won every quarter, outscoring the Aztecs by 10 in the first, 5 in the second, and 9 in the third. Lavelle, jump pass. Normally she rises up with those. This time she does rise up, and of course, as today has gone, she hits it.
She just wanted one a little bit closer to the basket than she had the shot at the earlier time.
The Broncos scored 72 on Friday and lost. The first time in 22 games that they had scored 65 or more and lost. That streak ended, but here today, they've got 69 on the board right now. And it looks like they're in no danger of losing this one. We got a jump ball called here. Jade Lavelle on the floor. And it'll be Bronco basketball thanks to the possession arrow. We'll take another look.
Aztecs got the hand on the ball. Jade kept after it. Both teams lock it up. Bronco ball.
Lavelle, baseline out of bounds, play. Muse, second chance, why not?
Abby Muse, great spot there. Turnover, up and in for the easy post move basket.
Just seems like all day long when someone on Boise State has missed a shot, another player has been there to pick them back up. And it continues there with Muse recovering the Lavelle miss. How about 17 assists for the Broncos compared to 4 for the Aztecs as well. This is just a completely different game than Friday's loss. As Staples lost the handle, that's going to be a turnover against SDSU. That'll be their 17th of the game.
That is definitely the stat. Along with the poor field goal percentage, that is the reason why the Aztecs are trailing the way they are right now.
Another basket for Mallory McGwire, the senior who had 21 on Friday. She now has 16 in this game. What a weekend to close out her career in the blue and orange. .540 to play in the fourth. 3 ball for McGwire. As Mark is going to get whistled for a foul there. A little bit too aggressive trying to split 2 Aztecs.
McGwire can hit those shots. Unfortunately, it just hit the front of the rim. Guess you can't be perfect all game. You got to miss 1 or 2. Mallory has been fantastic from the field during this contest today.
She's got 16 and 7. As Villalobos can't get it. And Mallory Adams had her hand twisted back. Mark, quick attacking on the offensive end, and she's going to draw a foul for her troubles.
Nice push right here by Mark. Mary Kay pushing the ball up the floor. Foul early before the bucket. However, it sends her to the free throw line.
So a chance to make it 75-44. The Aztecs just completely not in this one from the get-go. It started with the poor shooting in the first. The Broncos began to heat up. And San Diego State has just been buried by the offensive flurry that has come from Boise State in this one.
Ramos has been a great factor for the Aztecs. However, the turnovers that the Aztecs have had is what caused the other end where the Broncos have been able to hit baskets, which puts them up as they are here in the end of the fourth quarter.
That'll be another turnover. Ramos has 6 turnovers, and a lot of that stems from the fact that she really has to do it all in this one, unfortunately for her. She's got 23 on 8 of 10 shooting. The next closest on SDSU is Taya Adams with 9 on 3 of 8 shooting, and the field goal percentages don't get any better from there. In fact, they just completely drop off the table for SDSU, and unfortunately for Ramos, her backpack isn't big enough to fit 10 other players in it. And we will take a timeout. 75-44 is our score, 4:33 left to play on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back to ExtraMile Arena. The Mountain West, it's the end of the season. It's heating up. The conference is as crazy as ever, of course, with teams not playing equal amount of games. It goes to winning percentage when you want to talk about the tournament. But all the Broncos need to know is that with a victory here today, they will lock down the number 4 seed, rather the number 5 seed. They're guaranteed the 5th seed if they win this game. In fact, I believe this locks in the Broncos to the 5th seed with the New Mexico victory earlier today. Broncos could only finish 4th with a win, Nevada loss, and New Mexico losing 4. New Mexico now only has 3 games left. So a Bronco victory today puts them in the 5-4 game. That means they could play New Mexico, Fresno State, or Nevada. Those are the only 3 opponents in the first round, or rather the second round, their first game of the tournament as they have the bye.
And you know what that means? It's going to be an exciting tournament because there are so many teams near the top that are so close to each other that every game during that tournament is going to be a close one.
And it should be mentioned, the Broncos 4 times have won the Mountain West tournament. They've only won the regular season 2 of those 4 tournament victories. They've only been the 1 seed going into the tournament in the past 4 years 2 times. They've done it from the 3 seed and the 4 seed. This year they'll be trying to do it from the 5 seed, it looks like, as McGwire steps outside. But it's certainly possible. A lot of it depends on the matchups and who you draw, how well you match up. But Boise State played Fresno State pretty tough in Fresno on a neutral site. You would think that the Broncos might be able to take them, and that also came as really their first test of the season. The Broncos hadn't played anyone nearly up to the level of Fresno State. When those games rolled around, the Rams came right in here and gave the Broncos a very good whooping in 2 games, it has to be said, but you would expect Boise State to get up for the rematch if it's in the tournament.
And tournament time means it is anybody's game. It is your last game. You better play your heart out. You're either won or done or you're playing on, and the only way you're playing on is if you win that game. So both teams, all teams, will have it as they enter the Mountain West tournament next week.
79-44. We'll take a break on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back. The fans in attendance jazzed up about the Broncos as they are playing their hearts out here for Mallory McGwire in the season finale. And we were recapping the conference tournament, how the Broncos will be seeded. Forgot that for the Broncos to snag that 5th seed, that Nevada has to lose 1 of 2 because the teams did not play equal games. The Broncos won 2 games against San Jose State, who opted out of the season, and the Broncos were the only team that beat the Spartans in Mountain West Conference play before they opted out. Spartans got 2 victories against Utah State before quitting, or rather opting out of this 2021 season. So Nevada, if they finish 9-7 with 2 victories against Air Force, would have a better winning percentage than the 10-8 Broncos, which would then leapfrog Boise State in the tournament and in the conference standings for the 5th seed.
So many different things going on for people to be seeded for the Mountain West. It makes my head hurt. What I do know is the Broncos are 2 minutes and 45 seconds from getting a W that puts them in the conversation for the 5th or the 6th seed, and they've done what they could do to get there.
Osley, beautiful steal, takes it the rest of the way and finishes herself. And we've got a substitution after the made basket here. That's what the stoppage is for. But all in Osley right there on that play.
Nice steal. Tips it up the floor to herself for that easy basket.
So 81-44, the game is no longer in doubt. It hasn't been for quite some time. It was going to be a Boise State victory. Really, when we began the fourth, they were up 22 coming in to the quarter. The lead has just expanded since then, as Kira Edwards wanted to get it to Isabella Hernandez, but it was stolen away. That is now 20 turnovers on the Aztecs. You were never going to win a basketball game with 20 turnovers. Makalova for three. She's checked in. And again, the Broncos helping Broncos. It's Kimora Sykes on the second chance points.
That back bucket puts Kimora Sykes in double digits for this game with 11.
Makes for the fourth Bronco to reach double digits. It's gotten ugly for SDSU here in the fourth. Boise State's on a 16-0 run over the last 5. SDSU hasn't scored a single point in nearly 6 minutes, and they don't get one on that trip down the floor either. Broncos with 6 blocks as well. Defensively, offensively, everything going right for Boise State in this one.
It is. After the first little bit of the first quarter, the Broncos decided to turn it on, and what a game it's been since they started after that, those first couple minutes of the first quarter.
And talk about cleaning up. Boise State, 7 turnovers coming into halftime. Just 10 in the entire game, 3 in this second half. Coach Presnell will be thrilled with that number as Makalova, the pass fake in the bucket. She continues to play limited minutes and score in any way imaginable.
The Broncos are getting it done by all players in all areas in the game today. It's not one person's show. However, we've had many Broncos that help make this a great victory.
That one's tipped out of bounds by Boise State. Muse and the lot were fighting for it. I don't know if Martina Makalova's family or friends are watching over in Slovakia in Košice, where it's about, I believe, 9 or 10 p.m., maybe even getting close to 11 p.m. in Slovakia. But whenever Martina comes onto the floor, she just finds a new way to score every time, getting to the basket, shooting the three. I love watching her come out and play.
It's a great spark to have with her coming off the bench, as we've had a great spark from Kimora Sykes today coming in, giving those double digits. Gordy Presnell loves when somebody who's not in the starting lineup comes in and gives the team a spark, which also helps aid them to a victory.
You can't ask for much more. 17 points between Sykes and Lalott off the bench. Lalott came in early as she was asked to fill in for Mallory McGwire. And boy, Boise State, an up and down performance. Everyone who's come into the game has made an impact in some way, shape, or form, and that is why they're up 85-44.
A team victory today, and what a better way to send Mallory McGwire out for her final game in ExtraMile Arena wearing the collegiate uniform. Mallory is going to stay in Boise. She is done with her playing career once the Mountain West tournament is over, and what a career she can look back on. Ever since she was probably a little girl, picked up a basketball to play outside in her backyard.
And for Boise State and McGwire, certainly hoping their season doesn't end in the Mountain West tournament. A victory would mean a berth to the NCAAs if they can win the whole thing. Mountain West tournament winner, gets an automatic bid as Edwards comes up short. Broncos can hold out the rest of the clock. Boise State with a commanding victory, a decisive victory, and an exclamation mark on the end of the regular season with this one. 85-44 is going to be our final score as Christina Gill dribbles out the clock. It was an absolutely incredible game as the two coaches exchanged some jabs there at half court. Coach Presnell and Stacey Terry Hudson of the Aztecs talking, and I'm sure what Stacey Terry Hudson was saying was, you guys got us this time.
They did. She knew they stole one from the Broncos on Friday, and today the Boise State team came to play, and what a better way to end the regular season than a victory like this.
And Mallory McGwire, it was her day, and she made it her day. 18 points, 7 rebounds, and an assist for McGwire, who went 8 for 10 from the floor, 2 from 3 from deep, and even with all that, didn't even lead the team in scoring. That goes to Jade Lavelle, who had 21.
Definitely both players today did well. Well-rounded effort by all members of the team. The scoring was spread out. Couldn't ask for a better way to end the season.
And you couldn't ask for a better way to end a game. The Broncos hold the Aztecs to 4 points in the fourth. as we take a look at our play of the game. It's a snatch block from Abby Muse. She didn't even get credited for the block. They gave her the steal instead. And then McGwire from narrow at the basket.
Great look right there by all Broncos. Mallory, again, perfect way to end her collegiate season here in Boise.
So the Aztecs ended Friday's game on a 7-0 run. This game, Boise State doubles that, and more than doubles it. They ended on an 18-0 run. On the other side, Sophia Ramos, 23 points on 8 of 10 shooting, but the rest of her team really let her down, Heather.
She did. She came to play today. As we talked about, she couldn't put all those things in her backpack, although the poor shooting percentage and the turnovers from the Aztec team were what made it not a game with the Broncos.
Broncos shot 51%, 33 of 65. As we mentioned, Lavelle finishes with 21, McGwire with 18, Mark with 14, and Sykes with 11. Boise State now has to wait. They have to find out what happens in the Nevada Air Force Series. That will be coming up in the middle of next week. The Broncos are done. They head to the tournament. Their first game will for sure be on March 8th. The tournament kicks off on the 7th. The 7th through the 10th is the tournament. Broncos will play on the 8th. The opponent, unknown. The seed, unknown. What they do know, they won the game, and Heather, that's what they needed to do to lock down the first round bye.
It is. This Bronco team's going to get a couple days rest. They're going to figure out who they're going to play probably in the middle of this week, and then they'll prepare for this Mountain West tournament, the anyone's game.
For our crew here at the Mountain West Network and Boise State University, for Heather Berry, my color commentator, I'm Leonard Berry, saying thank you so much for tuning in. Broncos win it and cap off Senior Day with an 85-44 victory over the Aztecs of SDSU.